Ohio State misses out on Messiah Delhomme. Let's talk about it. Well, Messiah Delhomme has committed tonight, and he did not commit to Ohio State. Kind of a tough blow. I like Messiah Delhomme. I know there's some people out there that were saying maybe they didn't like him as much. I don't know if that's because we didn't get him. I kind of got that vibe a little bit from people when we were leading up to the recruitment. Tend to believe that means that you're not going to get the recruit when that starts to happen. But at the end of the day, I don't think Delhomme was the best safety in the world. I think that he made some good plays in his highlight film. I think definitely could have had some areas of improvement. I liked him as a receiver a lot, but essentially, Ohio State, the thought process was that they were going to take Messiah Delhomme after Trey McNutt did not commit to Ohio State. It was not a well kept secret that Trey McNutt was most likely not going to go to Ohio State. The reasoning why was a pretty well kept secret, but most people knew that things weren't looking good, especially when he didn't even come on an official visit. Rumors started swirling that he would officially visit at some point, but you got to start believing if he's not even going to come on a visit in the summertime, then he's probably not coming to your school. So, anyway, Messiah Delhomme seemed to be the backup plan there for a little bit. So the question is, why did Messiah Delhomme not choose Ohio State? Well, I went back and was reading through a lot of the articles and things like that were written out there about him, whether it was on 3, Rivals, 24/7, all these different places. And the overarching theme from all of them seemed to be if Ohio State wants him, they'll get him. So, if we can deduce properly from that, this most likely means that he was not a take for Ohio State. Now, I hate saying that because that always comes back and you're like, oh, yeah, of course he's not a take. Now they didn't choose you. Well, yes and no. Sometimes that is very much so the case that somebody doesn't choose your school and you're like, oh, we cooled on him. We didn't take him. I tend to believe just from the writing and from a lot of the information that was shared, that is most likely the case here. And again, for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me personally, like, I don't like that. I like the kid. I think the kid had, some good ball skills. I think that he ran with the ball pretty well. I think that he could have really improved and became a good player on this team, especially with how much Ryan Day and Chip Kelly and all these guys, they like to kind of have players be at several different positions, and Messiah Delhomme was definitely one. You could have at several different positions, or a few different positions. So the main rumor on why Ohio State started cooling on him is because he broke his leg in a 7-on-7 team on a 7-on-7 team back in May. I heard somebody say the other day that it was 2 weeks ago. From everybody I've talked to, it was back in May. And so he's had this broken leg for a while. He's just a really quiet kid, and so not as many people knew about it. If you go online and you try to figure this out, it's not hard to find, but it's also not like, the top written thing on every single article. So you got to read some different articles, read some different stuff, and try to find it. Well, like I said, he broke his leg back in May. He's most likely going to miss his entire season because of this injury. Sucks for the kid. I hate that for him. And for Ohio State, that was already kind of, I don't want to say on the fence, but, they wanted to see improvement from him. They wanted to see him improve in some different ways. They wanted to see him get faster. They wanted to see him get stronger. And when he has broken his leg, he's not going to have the opportunity to improve in those areas. And so, it sucks for the kid, and I hate it for him because, like I said, I think he could do some good things at Ohio State. But that seems to be the rumor, and it seems to be what makes the most sense to me. I thought he ran very well with the ball. You put on his huddle tape, and we're not going to go through it here. I don't want to watch it just because, he's not going to our school. But I watched the huddle tape, and this kid has good ball skills going up to get the ball. A lot of his interceptions, he's just kind of in the right place. I want to say it's lucky because that's, he had to get to that right place, but he's just kind of in the right place with the throw and stuff like that. But I don't know. This is a hard one for me. Because if it is true that Ohio State wanted to see him improve in certain areas, and some of those areas being speed, agility, things like that, I totally understand not taking a kid because he broke his leg. But I watch the film and I see other areas where he excels, he does well, and those are going to stick with him as he continues to improve. I guess my point is, you took Bodpen Miller and you took Jake Cook, but you can't take Messiah Delhomme when you need another player in the secondary, right? I mean, you're gonna have one less safety than what you wanted and one less corner than what you wanted. Right now, we have 2 corners committed, and I know what everybody says. Oh, never worry, you have these 2 guys. Well, you still need to get numbers, right? Justin Fry signed a 5-star, fringe 5-star offensive tackle. That's one of 2 recruits. That's awesome that he signed that really good offensive tackle, but you still need more than 2 recruits. It's the same way here. It's awesome that you signed 2 of the best corners in the nation. Don't get me wrong. I'm super excited about Neem Offord and Devin Sanchez. But you still need another one. And my thought process was, if you don't get another one, Deshaun Stewart slots in there in that nickel role. I think he can do it. I think based on the huddle tape, he has the quickness to be able to do it. He has the size to be able to do it. He's not going to be too slow down in there. And I think that he would be a good option for that. Now that you don't have Messiah Delhomme or Trey McNutt, your safety class can't be just Cody Haddad, Deshaun Stewart, and Fahim Delane. It's taking nothing away from those players. I think all those players are good, and I'm glad they're in the class. But again, it's about numbers. So the question is, where does Ohio State go from here? What are they going to try to do? What players are they going to try to go for? That's the question. Nearly all of their safeties are committed. All their safeties they offered are committed elsewhere. Nearly all of their cornerbacks they have offered are committed elsewhere. So you look at somebody like Dwayne Galloway, who went to Purdue. Do you go back around on that? See if maybe he's gotten bigger. Try to flip him from Purdue? Maybe. Do you scout and be on the lookout for another safety in Ohio that breaks out and has a really good senior year? Maybe. It's possible. Or secret option 3, which is what I hope they do. You go all in on Dorian Brew. Listen, Oregon's had some decommitments lately. And for whatever reason, it seems like players aren't sticking around with all that NIL money there. I don't know if something's drying up, if maybe the relationships weren't as strong as they thought they were. I don't know. I don't have any information on that. But what I do know is it seems like a number of guys are decommitting from Oregon right now. And if you can make Dorian Brew the next one or one of the next ones to do that, that would be really beneficial. You wouldn't have to move Deshaun Stewart over into the nickel. You could have Dorian Brew there, and you could keep your 3 guys in the safety role. And I know what you're going to say. The nickel is a safety role. I don't personally see it that way as much, but I can see how other people do. And it is the overarching opinion, so I won't stand too strong in that opinion just because there's no need to. Anyway, we'll see what Ohio State does from here. Not a lot of other options out there. Look for some Ohio guys to do better. See if anybody bursts onto the scene. Possibly go back after Dwayne Galloway. I don't think it's likely. It could happen, though. Or go all in on Dorian Brew. Try to get him to decommit. Try to get him to be a Buckeye. That's my vote. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Follow me at JR's Rankings, JRS_rankings on Twitter. You can also find me over on the OHIO podcast on Sunday nights. And go follow me at the Big Ten Huddle. It's my own personal channel where I do Big Ten content, put out an episode almost every single day, do lives on Tuesday and Wednesday night, talk Big Ten football, Big Ten basketball. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I think you guys will too. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Appreciate it. And we'll see where Ohio State goes from here. Have a good one.